Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a really big question for so many English learners. How do you finally stop translating everything in your head and actually start thinking in English?
So let me ask you something. When you hear someone speaking English, does your brain immediately do this?
First, you hear the sentence in English. Then, your brain kind of hits pause and it gets to work translating it all back into your native language. And only after all that, then you finally understand what it means. Does that sound about right?
Well, if this is you, the first thing I want you to know is don't worry. So many English learners deal with this exact same problem. You are definitely not alone.
But this habit, it really does act like a brake on your progress. It slows down your understanding, and it can make speaking feel really tangled up and just difficult.
But here is the good news, and this is a really big deal. You can actually train your brain to think directly in English, to just skip that whole translation step completely. And today, I'm going to share 5 simple but really powerful techniques that are going to help you do just that. So, here's our plan for today. We're going to dive into 5 practical techniques. We'll start with thinking simple, then move to learning phrases, increasing exposure, narrating your day, and we'll wrap it all up with letting go of perfection. All right, let's jump right in with our very first technique, think simple. You know, one of the biggest reasons our brains automatically go back to translating is that we try to form these really complex, perfect sentences right from the start. But doing that makes your brain work way too hard. The key is to start with really, really simple thoughts. So, for example, instead of trying to build a big sentence like, I am currently considering what I should eat for dinner tonight, just think directly in English. I am hungry. Or even just, maybe I will eat rice. These short, simple thoughts, they're like little stepping stones. They help your brain get comfortable and used to English so much faster. And that actually leads us right into our second technique, which is to learn phrases, not just single words. This is another one of those big reasons people get stuck translating. They're trying to build sentences one single word at a time. Let's use an example. Let's say you learn the word take. Okay, so you know its basic meaning, but that's really just one tiny piece of the puzzle. Because in real English, we use it in phrases all the time, right? Like, take a break, take a look, or take a seat. You see the difference? When you learn these whole phrases, the brain starts to see them as single blocks of meaning. It helps you understand English way more naturally, and you completely skip that need to translate every single word. Okay, our third technique is all about immersion. You have to increase your English exposure. Put simply, your brain just needs to get used to hearing English. The more contact it has, the more natural the language is going to start to feel. So you can try bringing in things you already enjoy. Maybe listen to some podcasts, watch YouTube videos, read some simple English stories, or, even just have English conversations playing in the background. And here's the most important part. You do not have to understand everything. Just by listening, your brain is like a sponge. It's absorbing the rhythm and the patterns of the language, even when you're not paying full attention.
Now for our fourth technique. And I'll admit, this one might feel a little strange at first, but it is incredibly powerful. And it's this: narrate your day. This just means you're actively describing your own actions in English, in your head, as you do them. It can be unbelievably simple. For instance, when you're in the kitchen, just think to yourself, I'm making coffee. Or as you're on your way out the door, it could just be, I'm walking to work. Even something as small as, this food smells good. Every single time you do this, you're actively forcing your brain to form a thought directly in English. You're building a whole new habit. This leads us perfectly into our fifth and final technique. And honestly, this might just be the most important one of all. Let go of perfection.
So many learners get stuck in that translation trap because they're absolutely terrified of making a mistake. They're trying to build the perfect sentence in their head first.
But listen, fluency doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from practice. Your real goal is just communication. It is not perfection.
The more you just use English, mistakes and all, the faster and faster your brain is going to adapt. So let's just bring this all together. Remember, learning to think directly in English is a journey. It's not a race. It does take time, but every single one of these small steps helps your brain build a brand new, much more comfortable relationship with the language. And then one day, probably when you least expect it, you're going to realize something pretty surprising. You'll realize you're just understanding English without translating anything at all. And that is the moment when the language truly starts to feel like your own.